Now that is timely. Look at that. You will not see anyone complaining this time about us being late. It's not going to happen.
Oh, we're here. We're on. See, this is the part where like we've been off for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now that we're coming back. First of all, we're not late. Someone's saying we're late. We're not late. Let's just make that clear. But this is the part, we're coming back after a break. We're not late. We're coming back after a break,
Haters.
so we gotta be here. We're here extra early. I came down here a little early. I got all set up. If
Yeah.
when we're doing it for a little while, you get lazy. You know what you're doing, and sometimes you
Complacent.
slip. But we're here. We're back. We're back again, and we're well prepared for this one.
Oh, we are. I don't think I've ever been more prepared. I took the ACT with less preparation than we have right now. And let me
Oh
tell
yeah,
you, I was prepared for the ACT. Do you remember that, Noah?
I do remember vaguely.
Did
I've
you do
blocked a lot of
both?
it out.
Yeah, same, honestly.
Yes, I
Did you
did
do the
both.
SAT and the ACT? Oh, God. My commiserations on your terrible suffering.
Well, not to brag or anything, but the only reason why I did the SAT was because I was a national merit finalist, and you had to take the SAT. Here's the thing, though. This is the real scam. You had to take the
Ooh.
SAT. No. Hang on. You can make fun of me in 1 second because you had to take the
Okay.
SAT in order to qualify for the finalist. But then I didn't get any money from it, so I spent money to take the SAT, and I took the SAT, but I didn't get anything out of it. I got the title for what it's worth, but I didn't get anything out of it. It's so dumb.
Well, that's a scam.
Yeah, it is a
They
scam.
they bamboozled you.
You know what else is a
Oh,
scam?
no. What?
All college testing, whatever. It's all a scam.
Dude, there do come moments where I finish filming a YouTube video and I sit there and go, huh. So I really had a tutor that taught me how to take the practice tests that I took so that I could take the ACT, so that I could go to college, so that I could get a degree, so that I could make YouTube videos in my apartment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
earn way more than the entry level salary for my college degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of a racket. Oh God. Well,
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I guess it was fun. It was
Yeah,
like camp.
yeah. It's very expensive camp.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess you have counselors and they do little activities and they give you stars if you do well. I got a star when I graduated. Did you?
Oh, wow. I wasn't that
I,
good. I was a bad boy.
no? Oh, you were the class bad boy. You showed up in a leather jacket with slick back hair, sloppy steaks, and you were like,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm too cool for this.
Yeah.
You'd go to the cafeteria and they can't stop you from getting a steak and a glass of water.
Oh God.
That was a good reference. For those of you who don't get it, clearly you're not cultured, so I will not explain further.
Damn. That's
Yeah.
harsh. Harsh but fair.
Sometimes you have to be harsh. I mean, there's 400,000 of these people out here. Some of them are going to get the joke. Oh yeah, I guess also congratulations me. I guess it feels weird to say, but yay, 400K. That happened while we were off.
Yeah, that's super exciting. We should start with that at the beginning. Just talk about it for
That's
a
a
minute
good
because it is
idea.
very exciting. Very exciting.
You know what? Why don't we just get started now? We'll give them a couple extra minutes for those who are not cool and don't watch the podcast live. There are several thousand people that do that. I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel like you're missing out. Like if you watch it late, watch it later, it's great, but you're missing. There's part of the experience.
Yeah, and not even just having it happen. Not even just the bits that you miss here at the beginning when we're late or when the wall panels are getting put up, but just, the ambiance of being
Yeah,
here in a live studio audience. I wish we could pipe in applause from the actual live viewers. I think that would be very good.
that would be. I'm sure nothing would go wrong if you have like live mic feed to people watching. That would be a great
Mhm.
idea.
Yeah, that I see no problem with that. We could implement that for sure. Uh, shall we get started?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Welcome to Dark Mode, the podcast that brings you sage advice from two technology experts. And that's not just what we call ourselves, it's what our moms tell people when they take a break for like 3 weeks and then come back and are not late. I'm your host, Luke Miani.
And I'm your host, Noah Rubin. On this show, we take questions from listeners, attempt to answer them to varying degrees of success, and maybe even have a laugh or two along the way.
Ha ha ha. Pranked. That was three for those eagle eyed viewers that like to count along at home.
Eagle-eared.
Yeah, eagle eared. Yes, sorry. That's part of our new series. We're going to be implementing a count along see and say segment on the show now. We're back for, let's call this season 3, baby. We're back. All right. We took off every time we take off more than like 2 weeks in a row. We just call it a new season. That's what we'll do from now on.
Yeah, honestly, we're back. Nothing's
Yeah.
really different this time, but
Nope.
we're calling it season 3.
Season 3, baby. Let's go.
All right. And of course, we have to start off this episode. We've been off for about 3 weeks, and there's some stuff that's happened that we're going to be talking about, of course. But the big personal news is 400K subscribers for Luke. So, congratulations.
Yay.
We gotta give
We
it
don't
up for
have our
that.
soundboard yet, so we have to do that very sad. There we go. Look at that. That's great. I think that amount of applause is actually about right for how it felt to get to 400K. I don't know why, but 400K does not feel like a milestone. I guess it's like turning 24, right? Nobody cares about 24. Nobody cares about
Yeah.
400K.
Well, I guess because like the next one's 500K, and that feels much more
Exactly.
substantial. So,
Yeah.
I get it. But it's still very
500K.
exciting.
You know what? That just occurred to me now that 500K is the next milestone. That does seem daunting. I'd like to get there soon. I would hope. I mean, I guess my challenge for myself would be to get there sooner. I guess you know what? Screw it. Let's talk. Let's do a little bit of behind the scenes shop talk here, right? People like when we do this sometimes.
Oh,
So I guess
yeah.
we'll start with that, and then we'll talk about the iPhone stuff.
Yeah.
So, here's I don't even know if this is something that people are necessarily aware of, from an outside perspective, because you guys are more interested in the topic of the videos rather than the state of the channel itself, which I guess makes sense. That's kind of what you're here for. But it is always interesting on like the other side of the curtain, so to speak, how different things can be. And one thing that I know a lot of YouTubers have been dealing with this year is I get the sense that most people are having to work harder for their views this year. And everyone
Hmm.
has a different boogeyman, a different finger to point as for who's to blame. Some people say, oh, it's clickbait. Some people say, oh, the tech is boring. Some people say, oh, TikTok's stealing our views. I don't know that any one or even all of those are true, but I can say that this year compared to last year, and especially 2020, views and subs have definitely been harder to get. And I don't know why.
Yeah, I guess things are always going to be changing. The landscape's always going to be changing. You can talk about, people can blame the algorithm, or you can blame TikTok or other, third parties. And I'm sure that's part of it. But like the landscape's always changing, and these trends take some time to become visible. So maybe this started some time ago, and now it's been going on for long enough that it's become a trend, or it's become a pattern that we can see. So it is hard. It's probably not just one thing, but it's also hard to tell, is this a temporary thing and things are going to go back to normal, or is this sort of the new normal because things are evolving? So that's really the interesting question.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I think a lot of people got their hopes up because at the early days of the pandemic in 2020, bro, that was a weird time to be on YouTube. That was a very weird time because everyone was so bored and like stuck in their houses and didn't know what to do that I could upload anything. I could upload like sniffing different farts and it would get 100,000 views in a day. Like videos were just going absolutely bananas back in 2020. I was gaining subs at like ridiculous rates. I think I had a couple of days, like when the M1 Max dropped, 2,000 subs in a day.
Wow.
In one day on M1 launch day. I had a couple. I mean, there were multiple times like WWDC of that year. That was like 1,500 subs in a day. Like there was a time in the summer of 2020, like late spring, early summer, where I was getting 500 subscribers every single day for like a month straight. It was crazy. And the views were ridiculous, dude. Literally every single video 100K. Didn't matter what I did. Cuz there was just the audience was so big and so bored and they were just eating it up. But then it almost inversely, revenue just fell off a cliff because all the advertisers pulled out. So I was in this weird spot where I mean, I guess I could divulge for you guys. If on YouTube, if you're in the tech space, generally speaking, it takes about 1.5, maybe 1.6 million views in a month to make $10,000, which is usually the goal that I try to hit. I try to get around that because that's basically what it requires to run this YouTube channel and like, pay rent and cover all those costs and taxes and stuff. So that's what I try to go for. So if we take that basic, like, 1.5, 1.6 million views is around 10K. When I was in the peak of the pandemic, I was getting like 3 million views and it was like 6. It was like 6K. So that was not fun. And it was very weird because on the one hand, I was sitting there like, holy crap, there are so many people finding my channel. There are so many views coming in. And yet I was making less money. And I was like, it was a weird time. So obviously things recovered and now the revenue makes more sense, but views didn't necessarily recover all that much. And it was see, look, here's another. Oh wait, sorry, by the way, I Love Chicken 69 is still bored, by the way. So let's derail the entire podcast and cater specifically to the one viewer. I think that's probably what this calls for. But like this comment right here, I see this a lot. Quote unquote leakers made 10 videos a week and they didn't turn out true, so people got tired of them. I've seen so many people that are like, oh, well, nobody wants to watch tech videos because of leaks. I don't think that's true. I just don't think that's true at all. Like, I don't even talk about leaks very much. I make one news video every quarter. So that doesn't apply to my YouTube channel. I make a video. I make a video on like a 2009 Mac. That's not going to be affected by people being mad that the Apple Watch isn't square. Like that is just not that's just not really, it doesn't track. You can't blame these one things like, oh well, the videos are too clickbait. It's like, okay, not all of them. People don't have time for tech. Some people have plenty of time. They're channels that get millions and millions of views. So I don't know. It's an interesting place to be in. It seems like there's a weird vibe on tech YouTube. I don't really know, but it felt like, getting from 100K to 200K, that happened like overnight. It was weird. Getting from 300K to 400K, that took like almost 2 years. It's weird. I don't know what's up.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many like different factors. Like when you're talking about, getting 100,000 subscribers, there's obviously all the things that are happening in the world that affect it, things that are happening on the platform, on other platforms that affect it. It's so much. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if you can get, how long it takes to go from 400K to 500K, because, having a bigger audience, will that make you get there quicker? The bigger you are, the faster you grow. Is that going to be the case? Or is it going to be the case that, a lot of people who like your content have already found it? And not that there aren't other people that won't like it, but, maybe a lot of the people that are into this stuff have found it. Obviously, there's millions of people subscribed to some of the bigger channels. Hopefully, a lot of those people will find your content as well. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
And it's also really interesting, just like looking at all these. I see a lot of people talking about, their various takes, and it's always interesting because, everyone kind of has a different perception on, what's to blame, what causes it. Like this comment here, I think it's overall a bad thing because people subscribed for your 2020 content and aren't engaging with your and other channels' 2022 content, so YouTube doesn't think people like the videos. That is interesting. However, I would counter that by saying that while it's true that YouTube can sort of punish people for taking risks, it also can punish you for not innovating. It's a double-edged sword, because what YouTube, and when I say YouTube, I mean, I talk about it almost in a conscious sense, but what I'm really talking about is like the algorithm. It's not a conscious being. It's not anyone pulling strings. It's just, what happens. And basically, what YouTube wants you to do is keep making the same thing, but different.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And that's the struggle or blessing that a lot of YouTubers have to deal with, is if I sat down and I went through the videos that I did in 2020 that worked, and I said, okay, I'm going to do those again, it wouldn't work. How, you ask? I've tried. I've done it. I have done, earlier this year, I did a series. It was a 2-part video where I bought 32 MacBooks, 32, fixed them up. And that was sort of done as a sequel, an even better version of my first really viral video, which I believe is at this point still my second most video of all time. I bought a pile of MacBooks. 1.26 million views that video got. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. I'll do it, but better production quality, better editing, better premise, higher stakes, 3 times as many MacBooks. Nowhere near that many views. I think it got about 200K, maybe a little less than that, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can't just keep doing the same thing you've already done. But then if you try to do new stuff, people are like, I don't want to see that. That's not like that video that you already made. Make that video that you already made. So you're like, okay. And they're like, you already did that. Do something else. So it's like, it can be a bit stressful. You might be able to presume from that. I don't know. It's it's a challenge that on the one hand keeps you going, but on the other hand beats you down like a stick to the back of the head.
Yeah, that is, and I almost wonder now, like, how much of that is the actual viewers versus how much of it is the algorithm that's driving that sort of behavior, you know, where you want, obviously you want to change and do new things. Like, I guess as a viewer, I kind of understand. If I go to a channel, I have an idea of what to expect. I watch some speed running videos. If I go to a speed running channel, I expect to see, you know, speed run breakdowns. If they talk about something completely different, not that I wouldn't necessarily watch it, but I would, you know, not really expect it. But I wonder how much of it is people or the algorithm or like a feedback loop where some people don't watch it and the algorithm picks up on that and reinforces it. And then people that maybe would have watched it don't even see it because the algorithm has already, you know, buried it. It's just, you know, it's an interesting kind of cycle there.
I've definitely gotten that impression before. And I mean, everyone basically speculates on how the whole algorithm works. It's kind of a mystery. But my impression generally is it can be hard to reach new audiences because when you post a video, it immediately is going out to your existing audience. And if they see a video and go, nah, skip that one, then that tells YouTube, oh, people don't like this. But it hasn't showed it to the people that might like it, that just aren't in the usual group. And so it's kind of this like this tightrope that you have to walk to be like, okay, I need to make a video that everyone that already watches is going to want to click on so that it can get to new people. And that's really, really hard to do. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, Luke, how do you do YouTube? I have no fucking clue. All right. I just do random stuff and see if it works. Okay. I don't have any strategy. I don't have any like scheme. A lot of people think that YouTubers have like this like vision, and maybe some of them do. Maybe the smart ones do. I just kind of throw a bunch of stuff at a wall or just do stuff that I like and then go, I don't know, does this work? I change the titles on my videos like 85 times because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how to word this. I don't know what to put in a thumbnail. I'm flying blind. I just stumbled into this by mistake and now it's my job.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. It's a mystery, and some people, you know, some people think that they have it solved or have some aspects of it solved. And I mean, there's channels out there with tons of views, so they've been, you know, doing something right. But you know, what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another one. And yeah, it's all just kind of a mystery.
Bro, I have a friend who does this for a living. They will this whole company, they will build these like insane channels just over and over again. They'll just build them. Just be like, here's a new channel, boom, 100K. Whoa, what the heck? And it's crazy. And even then, I've had some videos where I'm like, hey, this any idea what I could do to improve this video's performance? And they'll look at it and be like, huh, why doesn't that have more views? People, it's a company whose job it is to build YouTube channels. And they'll still be like, huh, I got nothing. This whole industry of creators is at the very fundamental level just people making it up as they go along. Even 10 years into it now, people just don't, nobody, even people who are successful and like have strategies and do stuff and it works and they can do it reliably, even then they're still kind of flying blind and just kind of going like, I guess so, sure, why not?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking also like while we were off, I think Mr. Beast passed 100 million subscribers, which was a pretty big deal as well. That's like, I mean, first of all, 100 million is, you know, what's funny? I was watching, he did a live stream right before he hit 100 million, and then people were unsubscribing like as a joke, and he lost like, what was it, like 100,000 or a couple 100,000 as a joke, and then they all resubscribed, and he got up to like 100 million at the end, like pretty quickly. But I was just like, it's just, I don't know, when you're at that scale, it's just like, it's insane. Like that amount of subscribers that he lost in like 1 second as a joke was like, what, like,
he's
you know,
like
could
my
make someone's
entire
career.
channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like crazy.
No, it's absolutely bananas, dude. And I guess that's the other thing is when you get to that scale, the money, bro, the freaking money in the creator economy is ridiculous. It's broken. It's
Yeah.
absolutely broken. I know of certain channels who have regularly broken six figures per month from AdSense. From AdSense, folks.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy. And it's all about distribution, right? Like I know other channels who have cumulatively the same amount of views as me. I got how many views did I get last year? Hold please. In 2021, I got 23 million views on YouTube, which is a very big number. Now, granted, there are channels, those mega channels, that will pull that on every single video. So just let that sink in.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but the thing is, I know channels who have had the same amount of views as I have had, but they make fewer videos and have higher like views per video than me. And as a result of that, their ad rates for sponsors are higher and they make 5 times my income for the same amount of views, just depending on how you arrange them and the fact that they're on fewer videos. This industry makes no sense. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. The sheer amounts of money. First of all, I think it's really cool that like even very, very small channels, like I'm talking, thousands of subscribers or maybe in the tens of thousands, that even channels that are that small can sustain themselves. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not entirely, but they can still, like all these small channels and else, sometimes they'll pop up on my recommended feed and I'll like the videos that I'm watching and they have like Patreon or AdSense and whatever, and they're able to make money. So that's really cool. And then there's like, Mr. Beast buying like private islands and giving them away to people and like running
Yeah,
his own charity and stuff. It's like
it's
it's insane.
insane. I mean, Mr. Beast, I don't even know how, I don't know if he talked about how much money he makes. I mean, it's millions per month. It's
Oh yeah.
ridiculous. Um, but the thing is, like, and a lot of people are talking about oh, AdSense is like the big money maker, but it's not. AdSense for most big channels is a minority of their income. Um, I up until this year was relying mostly on AdSense, but this year I've really tried to lean more on sponsorships because quite frankly my channel has become quite expensive and it takes a lot of sponsorships to actually like yeah, I bought 3 Max Studios
Yeah.
and like, it's an expensive side of YouTube to be on. But so this year will be the first year where sponsorships earn more than AdSense. But for many, that has been the case for a long time. Many people make more selling merchandise than AdSense pays them. Many people, on the other hand, just make money off of AdSense with automated channels. There are entire YouTube channels that are just automated,
Mm-hmm.
just a money printer. It's like,
Yep.
wow, what?
Yeah, I know. Like those, where they like the Reddit, like text to speech channels and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
there's Reddit channels, there's dash cam channels, there
Mm.
are just straight up meme compilation channels. It's there's a whole side of YouTube that's run by people that you don't even know. You'll never know their names. They're just in an office or their house, and they'll several hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. It's kind of demoralizing in a way, actually, thinking about people out there just like getting dash cam videos sent to them and then putting them all in a line until it reaches 10 minutes and uploading it, and then your like road rage compilation gets 12 million views and it's all royalty free. So
Mm-hmm.
that at 12 million views, even with a low CPM, your AdSense on that alone is 40K at least. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what to say. I don't even think about it too much because it's just crazy.
I want to do that. Why can't I just upload videos and they get lots of views? Dude, could you imagine like if my channel, God, what I could do with those resources. There's so many project ideas. Gosh, I got to just find a way to make it happen. Anyway, let's stop talking about YouTube. Let's talk about iPhone 14
Okay. Okay.
because we are getting close here, folks. We're just weeks away now. How many weeks are we?
Mhm.
Like 4?
Yeah, something 3 to 5, 3 to 5, maybe 3 to 4.
That's pretty close. How is your 13 Pro holding up after about a year?
Well, physically, it's pretty good. I think I got a very small scratch on the front. I have a little bit of very, very minor dents up here on the side. You're not gonna be able to see it on the
Mm,
camera, I don't think, but some minor dents.
yeah.
Pretty good overall. I will say that the battery health, I think mine's at 94%.
Oh, I've beaten you. I'm at 98.
Yeah, so 94. I don't know if this is in
Hmm.
focus or not, but 94% for my battery.
That's interesting. Interesting. I okay. Here's a question. So I talked about this on Twitter, um, where I inadvertently started quite a conversation about batteries, of all things, and battery health. Let me just take a quick little peeky poo in here. Yeah. So a lot of people. Wow, 157 replies, almost all of which are people's pictures of people's battery health pages and settings. We love to see
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Um, and it's very interesting to see that a lot of people with the same phone as me are like, what the heck? I'm at 85%. Other people are at 100% with launch day iPhones, like a
Hmm.
13 Pro or Pro Max from launch day, so a year ago, that are still at 100% capacity. Now, I personally chalk my uh, good battery up to the fact that I don't fast charge. I have optimized battery charging turned on, but more importantly, I almost never fast charge. I charge overnight, which means that it can optimize, and it's on it's a wireless charger, but it's not a fast one. It's just like a normal. It doesn't charge very fast at all. It takes a couple hours, but it's more gentle on the battery. So I wonder if that's part of it.
Yeah, I don't know. So mine's at 94%. I charge overnight as well. And I let me think. So I have mine's plugged into it's a 20-watt charger, but it has two USB ports. And I also have my Apple Watch charger plugged in, although I don't charge my Apple Watch overnight. But the I think it's probably 10-watt charging. So it's
Mm.
a bit faster than the 5-watt brick. But it's not, I don't think it's, I don't know if that's, I guess maybe that is fast charging. I don't know. It's not that fast. It's medium charging.
Medium charging. I like
Yeah.
it. Let me try to find it. It's a 3-in-1 wireless charging station, but it's not like the nice MagSafe Belkin one, which is
Hmm.
15 watts. I want to say it's 10 as well then. I can find this in my Amazon history. It's a pretty basic thing. It's not like anything super fancy. I really should do more with affiliate stuff, like putting Amazon links and stuff. I don't do it as much as I should. I really should do it more because it actually does make a pretty decent amount of money. Um, and I like have all of this like stuff that I use that I get and I use, and I could just say like, "Hey, here's what I use," and put a link
Mhm.
to it, and people would be like, "Oh, cool, I'll buy that," and it makes people tons of money. It's crazy. In 2020, the first year that I started doing affiliate links and stuff on Amazon, which was also my best year because I haven't, dude, I literally just don't even remember to put stuff in Amazon links or talk about it. And it's just like, whoops. But in the first year that I did it, where I signed up and I was like, all right, I'm going to actually do this, I think I made like $12,000 that year just in Amazon affiliate earnings. It's like, what? This is like a
Yeah.
whole thing that people do. There are people that make their entire living through affiliate links. Just like, what? I don't even know, man. But my charger, gosh, when did I buy it? I think I bought it last year. Yeah, I'm going to go with 10 watts. I think I found it.
Mhm.
So 10 watts, I think that's probably a good sweet spot because I like, I have a fast charger. I bring a fast charger when I travel because when I travel, I'm not super worried about preserving my battery. I'm more worried about having a battery that's charged in a foreign country.
Yes.
So I feel like that's probably understandable.
Yeah, yeah. The thing with me, so some people really worry about their battery
Mm,
and they they take all the steps and they keep it between 20% and 80%, which is what you're supposed to do,
yeah,
and they're very whatever. I I don't even really think about it. I do
yeah, me
try,
neither.
I try to keep I plug it in right before I go to bed and I unplug it when I wake up, and it'll be sitting at 100% for a little while even with the optimized charging on because it doesn't seem to work 100% for me. But because the thing, at least with me, is I'll probably have this phone. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get a new phone this year. If I can convince my
Mm.
employer to get me a new phone, then I'll get a new phone. Otherwise, I'll probably wait another year. But I'm only gonna have this for like a year or two, and by the time the battery starts to get really bad, is when I get another one. So not a great reason, I guess. But for me personally, I upgrade frequently enough, and I guess maybe you're in the same boat.
That's yeah. I mean, I get a new one every year because
Yeah.
work. I didn't used to, and I mean, my iPhone 10s Max, I had that one for 3 years, almost. Yeah. Uh, and that I mean, that phone, I think I only got down to 95%
Hmm.
after 2.5 years. So that was pretty. I was impressed with that phone. And again, I didn't really think about it. Although what I would chalk it up to was for most of the time where I had that phone in 2018 and 2019, I wasn't actually charging overnight because my wireless charger stand was on my desk, not my bedside table, because I didn't have a bedside table. So I charged it while I was working, which meant it wasn't really fully charged and it wasn't plugged in going 99, 100, 99, 100 all night.
Hmm.
So I think that probably helped it a lot. But I would be curious if someone, you know, ran their phone essentially like 2080, 2080, 2080 ad infinitum, how long they would get that battery to last.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Not worth it. It's not worth it for me to be so concerned about it, but there are definitely people out there who are very meticulous about it. But you know what I'm gonna be interested in is obviously there's gonna be a new Apple Watch coming out as well. I don't know if we've heard too much about it. We're hoping for that design that got scrapped last year, but otherwise we haven't heard too much. But for me personally, my Apple Watch, which I got in December 2019 or December 2020. When did we get it? We got it at the same time. When did we get our Apple Watches?
Yeah, that was 2019. There's the Series 5, season 5, the Apple Watch season 5.
Okay, wow. Okay, so it was actually December 20. Okay, because I no that yeah December 2019. Okay, so it's gonna be almost
Mhm.
3 years when I get this new one. I'm gonna be getting the new one because I use my Apple Watch I wear it like 23/7 basically, so I'm definitely going to be using it.
Mm,
But for the long time when I had my Apple Watch, or almost a year, the first year, I used to charge it overnight, and it would go right up to 100% and stay there for a while. But then I started wearing it to bed as well. So now I'm actually getting maybe that 80, not exactly 80/20, because I'll let it charge up a lot, but it's not sitting on the charger for long periods of time anymore. And it's at 83% battery health now. I wonder how much of that was from the first year versus the rest of it. And now when I get this new watch that I'm going to be wearing, 23/7, let's say, that'll
interesting.
be a
We'll
good
have
way
to
to
do a
test that.
test
Yeah.
because I use my Apple Watch. I don't. I'll be honest. I don't use it as much as you. I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of use. Like mine is
Hmm.
mainly for. I mean, I track workouts on it. I get notifications on it. I check the time on it. I'll be honest, it's not a product that I consider to be critical. I don't use
Hmm.
it that much. Although I guess there's not too much that you can do on an Apple Watch. It's not like you can sit there and like browse it and like play games on it, or I don't even know. Um,
Yeah.
but I do wear it every day and I charge it almost every night. So I'm really interested. Um, Let me see what my battery health is. I can tell that it's a little worse than usual. What did you say yours was?
Mine's 83%.
Interesting. Mine's 85. That's very close.
Huh. Yeah.
And I guess that would be consistent with the same age Apple Watches. Um, but uh um it's like that is interesting. Yeah. So if I use mine less than you, uh but they're the same age, 2% better battery health, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can say use. Like I will say I do, I primarily use it for workout tracking. And I do, I don't know what you consider to be a long workout, but like I did a bike ride earlier that was like 50 something minutes, which is not that long, but I tracked it, and I do, something like that pretty much every day. So I probably, I'd say, track more workouts on it than you do. And no offense. And I'm not sure how
Yeah. Well, it's because you go for like a 30-mile bike ride every day. I go to the
well,
gym 3 times a week.
yeah, well, that's fair, but I don't know. I definitely get use out of it if I'm not sitting there tapping on it. I don't do that as much, but like tracking workouts, tracking sleep overnight, constantly
Hmm.
tracking heart rate, stuff like that. I like to have that information. But the battery. It's just interesting that our battery life is. So it's almost like what we're doing with it isn't the determining factor. It's really just
Hmm.
the time is more the determining factor, is what it seems like.
That's true. That's true. It does seem like that has more of an effect. Um, and for what it's worth, I think our different charging styles, which many would point to as being a key factor, are not. Because I am the wear at day, charge at night. Sometimes I miss a night and charge during the day, but I always charge it to full.
Hmm.
I basically go down to zero, up to full every day. Because nowadays, after 2 years, 3 years almost, I get down like, I mean, right now I'm at 46% somehow, but usually I'm down in the 20s. So it's like empty, full, empty, full. But Noah, you wear it all the time overnight, and then you charge it during the day briefly and then go back to wearing it. So it's not sitting there. And yet, didn't really make that much of a difference when you account for our different use cases in the overall battery health. So I don't know. I feel like people that are really like anal about their battery are probably wasting their time. That's the end of
Yeah.
that. That's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of battery, we'll come back to the iPhone 14 in a second, because I feel like we should
Were
talk
we
about the
on the iPhone
battery.
14?
We were apparently on the iPhone 14. I'm not sure how we got here. We
Yeah,
will
me
go back to the
neither.
iPhone 14, but we have to talk about the battery percentage on iOS
Oh
16.
yeah. What do you think about that?
I think that the way that Apple, first of all, just to give context in case people didn't see it, the latest beta of iOS 16 gives you the ability to display the battery percentage on top of the battery. So, currently you have the battery icon. It doesn't show the percentage unless you pull down for Control Center. But in this new update, you can enable it. And on top of the battery icon, without Control Center, on top of the battery icon, it'll show the number, of the percent that you're at. So that's the context of this. And there was a whole big thing on Twitter, because obviously this is something that's been, battery percentage has been gone from the status bar since iOS, since the iPhone 10. And so now potentially we're seeing it back. I think that the execution was bad because I think the battery icon always appears like full, and then it's the number that tells you, what percentage is actually at, and that confused a lot of people.
That's it. That's interesting. I could see that being confusing. I mean, I don't know. I think it's tough because my personal take on it, I don't like the way that it looks. I think it's kind of ugly. I think I would probably use it. You see, now that I say that out loud, I've gotten very used to the non-percentage look to the point where I can pretty much ballpark what percent my phone is actually at just by looking at the little icon. Like, I guess let's try it now. All right. Wakey, wakey phone. Okay. I realize I don't have autofocus, so you can't see that. Can you see where that battery icon is right now?
Yeah, I'm thinking around 80%.
Nah, you see, that is definitely I'm gonna say 71. That's what that
Okay.
looks like to me.
Okay.
Damn. Okay. 67.
All right. That's pretty
See,
good.
that's within 4 or 5%.
All right, wait. We got another one right here.
Okay, wait. Back that up. That's too close.
Hang on here. Oh, we got some glare here. Can
All
you
right.
see it?
I'm gonna say 57.
No, I think it's 49. I think it's on the
You think
lower
it's
half.
lower than wait, hold it up again. Hold it up.
Wait. I don't know. It's really hard to see. It's really small.
56. I'm saying 56.
It's 52. So it's
Okay. I
right
told
in the
you
middle.
I can
All right,
get within 5%.
Yeah, and you know what? That's all you really need, right?
Yeah.
You really don't need to know the exact number. If you're looking at the battery percentage, you're just thinking, should I go charge it now or is it okay? That's really the question, or is it going to last through the night? And you don't need to
Yeah.
know the exact number to be able to determine that.
The only reason you need the exact number is so that you can get to 69% and laugh. All right?
Yeah.
We all know it. We all know that's what you guys want to do with it. So just be honest and we won't be mad, I promise.
Yeah. So I think, first of all, I think that the way that Apple did it, because I was just, maybe you saw it in the glare of my screen, but I was just double checking what it looks like. And yes, the battery percentage, like I'm looking at the screenshot where it says 63, 63%, but the battery icon is fully white, which is really confusing because if you're just glancing at it, you're used to, I guess, you glance at, you see the number, but you're used to the fullness of the battery reflecting how full it is. And I did see a mock-up that someone did on Twitter where where it has both. So the amount that the battery is filled is not, it's sort of translucent rather than full color, and then the battery number itself was maybe also translucent, but sort of getting both of them, that's not bad. And I'm all for giving people the settings. Some people want it, some people don't want it. But yeah, honestly, it's not something that I've missed. Like, I'm not like cheering in the streets because we've got, battery percentage back in the status bar. I don't know.
And I don't know. The thing that's always been weird to me is I feel like they could probably fit it in there. Like if you actually look at the space around there, I get that Apple is like super, They like their tolerances. They don't want anything to look janky.
Hmm.
But I feel like they could have fit it in there. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a silly goose and I don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't know. I honestly, I think the internet kind of melted when they brought the percentage back. I honestly, I you can go back and look at every video, podcast, tweet I've ever made. I don't think I've ever once complained about the removal of the battery percentage because, like, I don't know, it doesn't really bother me. I can glance and get an idea of where my battery is, and if I need to know, I just go like that and I got it. Just a little swipe away. So, I don't know. I don't think that's really concerning. What will be interesting though is to see what happens to the status bar with the new iPhone 14 hole punch camera. Let's go. I brought it back around.
Nice, nice, nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'll
So,
be interesting. I don't remember the exact mock-ups, but is the pill supposed to be thinner than the current? I know that obviously the top will be visible now, but is it going to be thinner than the current notch,
I,
or less wide is what I mean to say?
yeah. Let me look up I swear to God, I saw a like comparison, notch comparison, where someone had like mocked it all up. Uh, and it's it's interesting. I, for one, don't know that it's actually. I don't really think it's gonna make a difference. Because to me, like people have always been like, "Oh my god, they're gonna shrink the notch. They made the notch narrower on the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 12. Oh my gosh, are they gonna make the notch even smaller?" To me, it's notch or no notch. Like I don't really care what the notch looks like because I tune it out of my mind almost immediately. So it either has one or doesn't have one, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree. Ian's here in the chat, and he was saying that it is less wide, but it cuts in more vertically. So I guess it goes deeper into the screen than the current notch does. I don't, I don't know. I agree with you. Not, it's the notch. Whether the notch is attached to the top or it's cut out like the pill cutout that we've seen, it's still a notch there, and it's kind of weird for
Yeah.
Apple to like. I don't know, because I thought maybe they were going to try to get rid of the notch. Not that they need to rush to do it, but like, why introduce this pill cutout? And maybe it was only going to be on the pro models and not the base models. Maybe that's not true anymore. But I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, I don't really know. And like when I heard about it at first, I thought, okay, that that's not a bad idea, right? I think the pill could be cool. It could be kind of nice, I guess. But the biggest thing for me was just like, what does this actually do for us? And are the trade offs worth it? Ian just sent me uh, what he was talking about that he posted on Twitter. Let me share my screen here. The thing that I think is going to probably piss a lot of people off here is the the cutout basically lines up perfectly with the bottom of the current notch. So they're at the same height, but you get a little bit more status bar room. I guess the bezels are thinner, so it does increase the room up there pretty significantly. But I mean, I guess it makes sense they didn't cut any more into there because when people like watch video in landscape mode, they sneeze.
Bless you.
Yeah. So when people watch in landscape mode, the videos will like come up to there in the wider aspect ratio YouTube videos. So if Apple messed with that, that would be annoying. So I'm glad they're not. But I don't know. I mean, just looking at this, what does this really do for the usability of the phone? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you slightly more status bar space, which I don't know if Apple would even take advantage of, because you can already look at, like, if you look at the mini model versus the Pro Max model, it seems like there's more. I don't know if there's actually more, but it just seems like, or if you, okay, just look at the 12 versus the 13, and the 13, the bezels, or sort of the notch got narrower. Did the status bar change? I mean, the icons got a little bit bigger maybe, but it didn't change otherwise. So are they really going to take advantage of that? And then the other thing is you get that tiny little sliver of vertical. I mean, I guess it goes, you can see all the edges of the screen, and you see that tiny little sliver of thing above the pill cutout. What's that going to do? What are you going to put there? What are you missing there?
Yeah. Like, the only thing up there is like your carrier information, whether you're on Wi-Fi or not, and the battery percentage. Oh, we're down a wall panel. That's impressive stamina, though. It made it 45 minutes in.
They've been resting for the past couple weeks, so they were ready for this.
Oh, they had lots of energy. Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. That must be it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, I mean, I don't know. I guess you get to see more of your wallpaper.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have dark wallpapers up top because it hides the notch anyway, so that it doesn't really matter what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're just trying to make it look different so that when they put up the banners and the ads and whatever, it looks like a different phone, and you're like, okay, this must be new, because it's probably not going to be, it's going to be an incremental upgrade. So they got to do something to make it look new. Maybe that's the reason. I honestly don't know.
Honestly, that's all I can think of. Down another one so soon. Damn.
When it rains, it pours.
It does. But one thing I will say, the regular iPhone 14 looks like the most boring phone I've ever seen. So the dimensions unchanged, the camera location unchanged, the battery unchanged, the freaking, like, the thickness, the width, the bezels, the freaking CPU.
Yeah, the chip.
They're saying that they're not gonna change the chip. It's still gonna be an A15. That's not even another. What, they're just putting another number on it because of a color change? What is actually different?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess obviously, if they do a 14 Max, right? Because the rumor is 14 and 14 Max, so no more mini, but we're getting a Max instead. So obviously the Max would be, I guess, basically an iPhone 13 with a bigger screen, and then the 14 would just be the 13. So I don't know. Max is maybe interesting, but the regular one, it really seems like there's not going to be much of anything.
In fact, actually, Linda here just brought up an interesting point. I think we should manufacture some dark mode hard hats so that people could protect themselves.
That would be, as long as there's like a cutout for the band of the headphones. Yeah. I think that would. I think that'd be great. A dark mode themed hard hat with cutout for headphone band. That would. That's a niche product right there. And I'm sure that there's lots of people in that niche that would love that.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of hard hat fans watch this podcast, so I think a lot of people would probably buy that if we put that up on my merch store.
Oh yeah,
the dark hat. Honestly, let's make it happen. I wouldn't be opposed. But
that'd be funny. A hard hat that's like solid black instead of like reflective yellow. That'd be great.
Yeah. Oh god, that would look terrible. And the other thing is our artwork is like the hanging lamp. So it would just like the cord would go like all the way over the top like a racing stripe.
Oh, I like that.
Funny.
Yeah,
Oh man, I gotta
we need a
find
mock
someone who
up.
can manufacture custom hard hats. If you're watching this and you work at a hard hat factory, feel free to send me an email. It's linked in my channel's about section. So got my email pulled up, and I look forward to seeing any like hard hat factory floor managers that might be watching. I'm sure there's got to be a couple dozen of you guys out there, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
155 people. What are the odds that one of them isn't involved in the manufacturing of hard hats? I think slim to none.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Vanishingly small.
Mm. But anyway, yeah, so the iPhone 14 looks like it sucks. Why? What? Okay, chat, help me out here. Are there literally any upgrades that we've heard about for the iPhone 14? And I will even grant you some camera changes because Apple is always, tweaking. They're like, ooh, we added one little dot in the corner of the camera that just checks on you and makes sure you're doing okay. They're always adding these weird little things to the camera. So I will
Yeah.
give you, it will probably have something. But apart from cameras, is there anything that we're expecting for the iPhone 14 standard one? Literally anything?
I don't know if I've even for the pro model, all I've heard is, the hole punch and the storage thing, which we can talk about as well. And that's like, what's that even? That's barely anything. And the new chip, but it's the incremental chip. What do you expect from that?
Yeah. It's just, I just don't know what would compel you to get the regular iPhone 14. I guess maybe they're just going for the fact that like they're just banking on maybe people don't even pay attention. They just see a new number and go, "Oh, pretty color. I buy." And maybe Tim Cook was just like, "Hey, guys, why are we like changing this every year? Why not just put a new number on it and just keep the same phones, put them in a new box, and just keep selling them."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're probably going to do one or two minor little things that they can talk about and make those like, those little those taglines or whatever. They always have like the clever little taglines for all the new things that they add. And
Yeah.
and then stop selling the 13 series and call it a day. This is the new one. If you want an iPhone, get this one.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I guess that's all there is to it. Uh, God, that sucks. What a bummer. Maybe they'll give promotion to the regular iPhone 14, but even that seems like a stretch.
Yeah, I don't. It seems like a pro feature, and even then, it's not as exciting. Like we've seen like obviously, it'd be great if it had it, but like we've already seen promotions, so it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
this thing gets it. That's cool. Not super exciting, like it was for the first
You
time.
know what? I'm a little nervous because last year with the iPhone 13 and the year before that with the 12, almost all of the reviews were basically saying to the effect of the normal one is great, so just buy that. And Apple was like, "Oh no, this sucks. They're buying the less expensive one. They're supposed to always buy the most expensive one." So now this year they're like, "All right, fine. No changes for the regular one. If you
Yeah,
want something new, you got to get the more expensive one, and we're going to increase the price, you sons of bitches." Ha 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 ha. You're going to get an even more massive camera bump. You're going to get a mic and Ike instead of a notch. And you're going to get thinner bezels, I guess, and a slightly larger display. And they're like, and guess what? That's going to be an extra $100. Thank you very much. And may or may not have double the storage. Should we talk about that?
I think we should talk about that. Yeah, I'll introduce it briefly. So there was also a rumor that the price of the Pro iPhones was going to go up by $100.
Oh no.
Like the opposite. That wall panel just went down. The price of the iPhone would go up in this case
Hmm. That
by
was like a
$100.
little, yes, exactly. That was a
That
great
was
visual demonstration.
Thank you. It was on purpose. And so that was the rumor. And then there was also a rumor that the reason or a reason for that was because they were going to double the base storage on the iPhone Pro model. So I guess it would start at 256 instead of 128. And
Hmm.
I will say about that, um, for me personally, I think 128 is perfect for my phone. I'm
Mhm.
close to full on my phone, but there's plenty of stuff that I could easily delete if I ran out of space. So I've never worried about space on my iPhone. My iPad, I opted. Oh boy. Okay, there they
Oh,
go.
wow. They're really, that's like the things that you could easily empty from your iPhone storage. That was a demonstration of you easily deleting those things.
Exactly. Those are all gone nice and quick. It didn't even hit me
Very
in the head on
easy.
the way down. Very easy.
No hard
So
hat necessary.
exactly. Well, that's not good for our business. We don't want to. We should
True,
say,
yeah.
I
Let's,
wish I had one just in case, because you never know if it
yes.
would hit or not.
That's exactly. Safety first. Don't take the risk, people.
Yes, buy our hard hat. That doesn't exist
It
yet.
doesn't exist.
But I have 256 on my iPad because I like to download. That's what I download stuff on to take, like if I'm traveling. So I like to have the extra space. Whatever. On my iPhone, 128 is great. See, that's your slogan right there. 128 is
Mm.
great. That's
Yeah.
we'll protest outside of Apple with signs that say that.
128 is great, and it chants really well.
Oh yeah, it works. Just the right number of syllables for a chant. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
just the right number of. It's just on that perfect sweet spot where you can go 128 gigabytes is great, or you could say 128 gig a bytes. No, it's
No.
How do you how?
Mm.
What do we appreciate?
Mm.
128 gigabytes is great. Oh no. Okay, wait. No, this will work. This can work.
Okay.
128. What do we appreciate? That
Ugh, I
works.
don't know.
That's something.
We'll iron out those details before the protest, but
Oh, and then the other thing, if I may submit this into consideration,
uh-huh.
a lot of people will go for like a protest. The chant is like, I am in favor of something, but a lot
Mhm.
of the times they'll also be against something else. So we
Mhm.
could, if we wanted to start to sort of make it political and pick sides here, we could say 256, too many gigabytes will make you sick.
Oh, that that one has the opposite problem. I feel like it
Being too many syllables.
has too many syllables. Can we like merge them into
Mm.
two that have the right number of syllables? Because that's how it works, right?
128 is great. 256 will make you sick.
Yeah, that's. Oh man. Oh man.
I think we're close. All right. We'll just iron out those details and it'll be perfect. But I honestly, because I checked my phone here. Okay, I'm using 77 out of 128 gigabytes. I did actually earlier this year fill up this phone, but again, that was because I basically just had unchecked clutter. A bunch of like high fidelity songs were downloaded in music that took up a lot of space. Um, I had massive amount of messages and attachments and stuff. That was like 50 gigs just of
Mm.
messages. Right now, my largest is photos, 42 gigabytes. But I don't know. I set that to offload storage, so I don't know why it's using that much.
Maybe
Either
just if
way.
there's extra room, it'll use it. If there's not extra room, it'll take them off. But yeah, I
That
don't know.
could be it.
128 is good. I guess you could argue, if the camera bump is getting bigger, maybe the pictures and video are going to be bigger file sizes. I don't know.
That's
And then you
true
need more
because the
storage
size of
space.
the physical camera does correspond directly with how big the file is.
Well, I'm not saying that, but
Because
I mean,
the way that digital cameras work is it
oh my
actually has like
God.
a little thing. It's a little mode, a little dark room, and a printer in there.
Uh-huh.
So it
Uh-huh.
develops the photo, and then it has to squeeze it down really small and fit it in the storage. So it takes up
Yeah.
more space if it's a larger camera.
Yeah, thank you. Well,
You're
I'm
welcome.
saying like okay, Pro Raw, right? You needed to have the higher storage phone to even use Pro Raw, right? I don't know. I'm
True.
just saying if the cameras do in fact get better and there's like more megapixels or it takes higher quality pictures and video, then maybe the file sizes will be bigger. I don't know. Maybe file sizes or maybe there's file size inflation, in the world. Things are
Yeah.
just over time, things are getting bigger. The devices get bigger, so people care less about making things super small and optimized. And then those things get bigger, and then the devices have to respond and they get bigger. Classic inflation scenario here. So maybe
Yeah.
that's why. Maybe it really
That's an
is
interesting
just
point.
storage space inflation.
That's I can't argue with that. That's a great point. I mean, inflation in all ways, right? The storage inflates, the storage size, the camera bump, that's undergoing inflation at a
Mm-hmm.
ludicrous pace. I mean, look at the iPhone 6 and people were like, "Oh my god, the camera protrudes from the back." And
Yeah.
now we're nearing this point where this looks like it's like becoming a sentient being. Mark my words, by the time we get to iPhone 24, the camera will be the main thing. The phone will merely be a small attachment to the camera.
Oh yeah.
iPhone 34, the camera will have at that point fully undergone mitosis, uh, and it will no longer actually be a part of the phone. It'll be a separate module.
Mm. I see. Because I was thinking somewhere in the middle, before it becomes separate, but while it's slowly eating up the back of the phone, at some point the Apple logo itself is going to become one of the camera modules. Like there will be a camera
Oh
inside
yes,
the Apple logo, and
it has to be.
you'll get nice. That'll be a new mode that you have portrait mode, whatever. You turn on Apple mode, and you get a very nice Apple border around your picture. That'll be the one of the new updates.
Yes, because famously, just as the size of the
Uh
camera
huh.
corresponds to the file size, the shape of the lens is the shape of the photo that it
They'll do. This
takes.
is Apple. This is Apple that we're talking about here. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna find out. They're gonna figure out a way to do it, even if it's just a software trick and it's not
Yeah.
actually how that looks. They're gonna do it, and that's gonna be the big feature. In a couple of years, we'll be talking about the leaks about Apple camera mode.
What if this is all just part of like horseshoe theory where Apple first set out to like combine everything that you own into an iPhone, and
Mm.
in this course it's going to end up separating back out, and eventually they'll sell you like a very beautiful aluminum rotary dial phone.
Yes, I predict the iPod will make a comeback in about 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely. What if they bring the iPod back, but it's as part of like the corporate hellscape DLC that everyone seems to be going for these days, and it'll just be like the iPod will be like a small little house. It'll be a literal iPod, and it'll be
Mm.
what if they bring the iPod back for the car, the Apple car, but it's called
That's
the
what they call
iPod.
it. I could
Mhm.
I could see that. I think that makes a lot of sense.
You know what else makes a lot of sense?
What?
Wrapping up this podcast episode,
I would have to agree with you there,
this iPodcast.
bruh.
Yeah. That was good. Please clap. Anyway, God, that wasn't even audible. I'm gonna kill myself. Anyway, okay. We got distracted there quite badly at the end, but you know what? That is the way the cookie cooks. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching / listening to / enduring this episode of Dark Mode. We're happy to be back. I've been your host, Luke Miani.
And I've been your host, Noah Rubin. We will see you next week. Have a great night.
Yeah. Toodles.